Hey everyone, and welcome to cookingwithchampagne.com. This is my music room. I was just listening to one of the mixes that I just finished for the Champagne Lounge. Check out the lounge, I got some great music in there. So I was just listening to the tape I made, or the CD that I made, and going through some of my memorabilia from my days in radio. And boy, when you haven't looked at this stuff in a long time, when you see some of the stuff that you've collected, you're like, wow, I forgot I even had that. So while I was going through it, I was trying to think about what I'm going to cook for us today for our meal. Look at this. Would you believe it? You know, we just celebrated the 1-year anniversary of the passing of Michael Jackson. Here is Michael's glove. Now, back in 1983 or 84, I hosted the Michael Jackson book party in Manhattan in a club. And this came with the invitation. It was Michael's silver glove, and it came with the invitation, and I hosted the party. This says USA Today on it. So could you believe I forgot all about that I even had this. And here's a picture of Michael's sister, Rebe, when she came up to the station. Look at this. This is an old Billboard magazine from November 1983. What? And inside here, there's a little story about Frankie Crocker meeting Joan Jett and playing her music on the air. And the title is A Black Heart Gets a Lift, because Frankie was known to play a lot of the pop music on his black R&B radio station, BLS. So this is a very old Billboard magazine. So while I was looking through this and going through my pictures, I said, what are we gonna make for today on this Monday? And I really couldn't decide. Then when I started looking through my pictures, and I found a picture of me and my girl Beth. She is my all-time longest friend that I've worked with since the days of radio back in the early 80s. And she is such a beautiful person, very angelic. And as soon as I saw this picture, I knew exactly what I wanted to make today. So now Beth, even though she was from Chicago, she loved California. So, you know, she fit right in with the blonde hair, the blue eyes. I want to show you another picture. Here's a picture of us, me and Beth. That is Michael's sister and some other people that we worked with at the radio station. Here she is with me down here, Luther Vandross. He sang live on the Quiet Storm one night. So Beth and I really go way back together in our first, very beginning times in radio. So she was one of my dear friends, so I knew exactly what I wanted to make today. And this show is in honor of my dear sweet friend, Beth Yenni Solaway. So Beth, this is for you. So let's get to the kitchen and start to cook. Today we're going to make a California burger. Now Beth introduced me to a California sandwich, which is bread that has some kind of cheese on it, and they put slices of avocado, slices of cucumbers, there's some mayonnaise, alfalfa sprouts. So we're going to take all of those ingredients and we're going to make it into our burger for today. So what I have here is 2 pounds of chicken chop meat. I like chicken over turkey, and I like to use the white meat chicken. And to this, we're going to make our own little concoction. I have Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Now, like I said before, Beth was from Chicago, but she loved everything about California, and she really strived to get there. We have 1 tablespoon of catsup. So when we were working at the radio station, you know, I got to give her a lot of credit. We were like 22, 23 years old, and here she was in the big city, New York, and she lived in the Village on Grove Street. What a great little apartment she had. You know, she was doing it all on her own. So in goes our ketchup. So Beth and I were good friends. We used to hang out all the time, go to all the parties, album release parties, and, you know, just hang out and do a lot of the fun music things. This is 1 tablespoon of olive oil because this is a breast of chicken, so we want it to stay nice and moist. So in goes the olive oil. Now to that, I'm going to add some salt. Now remember, we have 2 pounds, so a nice pinch of salt. Nice pinch of pepper. And what else do we want to put in there? I think that's good. And we just get our hands in there and mix it up. So Beth and I, when we were working back at the radio station back in those days, 1983, 84, I think we were lucky if we made $150 a week. So we used to get paid every other Friday. And when we got paid on Fridays, we were brokesters by then. So we would, on our payday, go to the bank, cash our checks, and after the bank, rain, snow, sleet, hail, sun, it didn't matter, we would walk to Burger King and we would get a cheeseburger or to the local hot dog stand to get a hot dog, and we would eat that on our way to the Jewish deli where we would get our hot pastrami or corned beef sandwiches that were like this thick to take back to the station so we could eat it at our desks. Oh boy, we thought we were like so rich and so cool to have that money to get a hamburger and a big, delicious sandwich. Those were the days when you could eat like that and not worry about gaining weight. But my girl Beth introduced me to the California sandwich with the avocado, and really nobody ever liked it. I tasted it, I said, wow, this is really good. So that's what we're using today, is the inspiration of that to make our California burgers. So here's our mixture. You don't want to over mix it. It's nice and moist because we put the olive oil in there. So we're just going to wash our hands, and then we're going to mold our burgers. Okay, so now that we have our chopped meat all seasoned, here's the one thing that I want to add in last because I wanted it to cool off. This is a medium to large size shallot that I just diced really small, and I just sweat it in a little bit of olive oil and a teaspoon of brown sugar. A little bit of salt to help to dry out the moisture, and just until it became translucent. Okay, you can put raw onions on the top. I think the sandwich came with raw onions, but I'm not a raw onion or garlic fan at all. So I said, I'm going to take a shallot and just sweat it. So that's what I did. And now that it's nice and cool, I'm just going to add that to my chicken chopped meat. And this is going to give it a little sweetness because of the brown sugar. There's not much in there, and I use light brown sugar. Whatever you have on hand is good. So we're just going to take that and incorporate it into our meat, and we're going to mold our burgers. Now, for the burgers, usually hamburgers are round. I'm making them square because I'm using these beautiful little ciabatta breads to put our burgers on. Aren't they nice looking? They have the white powder on, and they're delicious too. So that's what we're going to use to put our burgers on. So I said, how am I going to make the burgers to the size of that square ciabatta bread? So I thought about it, and I went to the store and I bought these cute little sandwich boxes where you make a sandwich like for the kids for lunch and you store it in their lunchbox. So this is going to be our mold to make our hamburgers, and I lined it with some of the plastic wrap so it's easy for it to come out. And I make a little flat burger. And then I put it on a plate and I put it in the microwave just to see if it's seasoned enough. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to take this, we'll put it on a plate, put it in the microwave for about 20-25 seconds, see if it's nice and seasoned. Here it is. I put it in the microwave for 25 seconds, so let's see if it's seasoned good enough before we make our burgers. I think we could use some more salt. Always start out with a little salt and taste it, because then you'll be able to add. Right here I have 1/4 cup of regular Italian breadcrumbs. I'm going to add that. Just mix that in. And then we're going to make our burgers. And then after we make our burgers, we're going to set them in the freezer just so they can become a little bit firm and take on the shape of this little sandwich box. Isn't that cute? Something different. And fill it up. Just press it down. Now remember, I lined this with some of our plastic wrap, so it comes out easily. And when you put this in the freezer, it helps for the hamburgers to take their shape. You can make this as thick as you want because I'm going to cook these on the grill outside. So now with the back of your spoon, you want to spray with a little Pam and just push it down. This way it doesn't stick to the spoon. And just make sure you flatten it out. And now with the remaining plastic, fold it over. And then we're going to put this one piece right on top. I just want to push it down to get it in there to mold it to this sandwich container. And there you go. So I have 2 of them that I made. And we're going to take these and I'm going to pop them in the freezer for about 20-25 minutes. And in the meantime, we'll come back and we'll make our potatoes and our dressing. What I have here is 1 sweet potato and 1 creamy white. And all we're going to do, I washed them, of course. We're just going to cut them down the middle. We're going to roast these in the oven. Now be careful. Your knife really has to be sharp and you really have to have some strength, especially with these potatoes. Oh! Just get down in there. There you go. It pays to go to the gym. And we're going to cut them in half and then cut them in half again. Lay them on our sheet pan that I lined with the aluminum. I'm going to sprinkle that with a little bit of olive oil. I think I want to cut these in half to make them smaller. So I have a creamy white and I have a yam. And that's what we're going to do to both of them. So, you know, being in radio, there are so many perks going to, you know, different dinner parties, album release parties, concerts, hosting concerts. One of the things that we used to do every summer back in the 80s, and then they did away with it, but now I hear they're bringing it back again. It was called the New Music Seminar, and it always happened in New York City in the summertime. And what it was all the different record companies, they would have different suites in different hotels, and during the days they would have seminars with, you know, record executives, artists, producers, people from different labels. And you would have to sign up to be a part of the New Music Seminar. But Beth and I would go every year. In the day, of course, we couldn't go to the seminars because we were working. But at night, when they had the suites open and the parties, everyone went to that. And, you know, different hotels, the Grand Hyatt, you know, all around town they had different hotels with the suites. And what it was each label or production company had a suite, and they would have drinks and they would have food or hors d'oeuvres, and you get to listen to the music of the new artists that they were producing and putting out, and they would give out CDs as well. So it was great. So we used to go to one hotel to another, one suite to another, and they would give out bags as you were leaving with all the new music and all different stuff, t-shirts. You know, it was a great time on radio. Today, radio is so different. Nothing like it used to be. So, but at least I got the chance, and Beth got the chance to live in it when it was good. So, the creamy white was a little bigger, so I cut it to match the size of the yam. So here they are, and all I'm going to do right here is drizzle some olive oil on our pan so they don't stick. And then we're going to take our potato, we'll put that on there. And my oven is set at 450. I have an electric. If you know you have a gas stove and it's very hot, or a convection oven, you might want to do 425. And to this, let's put some more of our olive oil. Give it a nice liberal dressing of that. We're going to do some salt. Remember, they're potatoes, so they can take the salt. Salt sense is what I use. That's for people, you know, especially people who have high blood pressure. You can't use salt. Salt sense, it's less salt, less iodine. So let's just mix that around and get them coated. And if you feel they're still too dry, add a little bit more olive oil. To this, I'm going to put some pepper. And then I want to add a little bit of grill seasoning that you put on steak. I'm going to do a palmful. So I say about maybe half a teaspoon. And I'm just going to run it through my hands and over my potato. And that's garlic and pepper and some herbs in there. And I'm going to use some dried oregano. Same thing, in my hand. About a half a teaspoon of this. Run it through your hands just to loosen up the oils and the fragrance. And then just get them in there. Make sure they soak up all of that. The grill seasoning, the oregano, the salt and pepper. So now I'm going to take each one and I'm going to lay it skin side flat on each side, because I want them to get caramelized and golden brown. And then we'll look at them and then we'll flip them over. This will take maybe total 20, 25 minutes, 15. It all depends on your oven and the potato. So we're going to put these in the oven. I have it at 450 and we'll check them in a few minutes and we'll flip them over. And our fries are in the oven. I am making the other part of our burger. Now, with a California sandwich or even a California burger, you have to use the ingredients. Avocado slices, cucumber slices, some people put tomato on it. We will use tomato, and of course alfalfa sprouts. So instead of doing the avocado and the cucumber in slices, I'm going to make like a guacamole. So what I have here is a beautiful ripe avocado that I just took out of the skins. Just cut it down the middle and twist it. Take it out with a spoon, and we're just going to give that like a little run through with the spoon to give it some nice rough size. Chopping up about a half a cup of an English cucumber, which I have right here. Instead of making the slices of cucumber, I am putting the cucumber in small dices. If you think of guacamole, they usually have onion in small dices. The cucumber will take the place of that onion. But if you wanted to add an onion, add an onion. And here we go. We're going to mix that together. To this, I'm going to add beautiful. I'm going to use half of it. This is a beautiful plum tomato. Now, be careful with your knife. You could either squeeze out the seeds or cut them out. If you're not used to cutting them out, squeeze them out. We don't want nobody getting hurt in the kitchen. So I'm going to use half of this. And all I'm going to do is cut this in strips. If you wanted to use the whole thing, go right ahead. If you didn't want to do it this way, you wanted to do it in slices, go right ahead. It's all about you. This is my version of it, and you tweak it the way you like it. So I'm using half of this beautiful plum tomato. And you see the edge when you cut it off? Don't waste that piece. Take those little pieces off. You pay enough for it, right? So let's put that in. We're going to put some salt. I'm going to add some pepper to this. And I have a lime right here. I'm going to use a little bit of the lime zest, maybe a half a teaspoon, just to give it that lime flavor. And of course, we're going to squeeze some lime in there as well. Just take it off the back. And if you didn't have lime and you wanted to use lemon, you sure can. So this is going to be really nice to put on those beautiful big square ciabatta buns. Just give it a little tough squeeze with your hand. Sometimes they're very hard. You can just roll them around too, or pop them in the microwave. Okay, and let's mix this all together. Doesn't that look good? This is going on top of our burger. I love avocado. Some people don't like it, but you have the chunky, crunchy cucumber. You have the velvety texture of the avocado. I love the avocado flavor. You have a little bit of salt and pepper. And of course, the sweetness from that beautiful tomato. So that's done. Let's put this aside and get to our beautiful dressing for our bun. So now let's make our dressing that we're going to put on our bun. Right here I have honey Dijon. Love it, love it, love it. Always have it on hand. It's hot and sweet and spicy all at the same time. I love it. So we're going to use about 2 heaping teaspoons of this honey Dijon, and that's just enough left in this jar. That's how often I use it. So we're going to use that. And of course, if you're making more than 2 or 3 of these hamburgers like I'm making, of course you're going to double the recipe. And to this I have some low fat or light sour cream, because usually it's made with mayonnaise on an California sandwich, but we're going to use the light sour cream. 2 of these teaspoons. And we're just going to mix this together. And this is going to be the dressing that we're going to slather on the top of our bun. Very nice. And tastes even better, I can guarantee it. Especially with that honeybee naan. Very good. Okay, so that's done too. So now all we have to do is wait for our fries to be done, and let's get our hamburgers on the grill. So I just checked our potatoes about maybe 10, 11, 12 minutes, and I turned them over because they were golden brown on one side. So check your potatoes in between. When you see they're golden on one side, flip them over so they become golden on the other. So now that our hamburgers set in the freezer and became firm, I am going to take some of my olive oil and I am going to brush the hamburgers, because when we put them on the grill, we don't want them to stick. Now, when it comes to the grill, make sure you clean your grill before you put it on, and you liberally take some oil, canola oil, vegetable oil, olive oil, and rub that grill down. And I would say on medium heat, you would cook these. I'm leaving them in their container because when I go outside to cook these on the grill, I'm going to pop this side that I just brushed with the olive oil down on the hot grill, and then while it's on that side, I'm going to brush it with the olive oil on the other side. And then you make your hamburgers the way you like them. So that's where I'm headed, outside on the grill. I'm going to put these on, come back in, and check my potatoes. Here are a delicious burgers that I put on the grill, and I cook them off to the way my husband and I like them. And you make yours the way you like them. On top, I used a Spanish Manchego cheese. Choose any cheese that you and your family like. Right here, our potatoes came out of the oven. Okay, this is for 2. If you're making it for 4 or more, double and triple the recipe. And we're ready to make our California burger. So right here is our ciabatta bread. Let's put our cheese to the side that I cut in half. And we're going to take our burger here. Ooh, that looks good. I'm going to put that right on top. Fits perfect on the roll. Look at that. Those little lunch boxes came in handy. Here is our honey mustard with our sour cream. I'm going to ladle that right on the top. Give it a nice dollop of that. Guacamole. Usually on a traditional California sandwich or burger, it is avocado, slices of cucumber, slices of tomato, raw onion if you want. So I made this cucumber, avocado, and tomato like a guacamole, all in one, easy to put on the sandwich, and it makes for a nice dressing. Look at that, it's beautiful. It's alfalfa sprouts. You could add this to salads, very good for you. You can find this in the health food store. A lot of the regular supermarkets definitely sell this as well, but if you can't find it, you know you'll always find it in a health food store. And this is a traditional part of what a California burger or sandwich is like. So there you go. Look at that. Perfect. I want to put that right on there like that. Does this look? Wow. There is all the ingredients that make a beautiful California sandwich or burger. To that, I have some beautiful creamy whites and a sweet potato that I roasted off in the oven, salt, pepper. I put a little grill seasoning on there, roasted at 450 degrees, turned it over when one side became nice and caramelized, and they cooked for about 20 minutes And look how beautiful
my
those fries
beautiful
are. California burger. It is a chicken chopped meat that we season. We also have on here our guacamole that we put in some chopped tomatoes and some cucumbers, a little bit of lime and lime zest. You have your alfalfa sprouts, all the typical ingredients of a California sandwich. And this is my celebration of my friendship with my friend Beth Yenni Solaway, who worked with me in radio for many years, and now she definitely lives in California, where she always wanted to be, married, 2 children. So I was thinking of her when I made this burger, and all those nice long walks we used to take from the bank to Burger King to the Jewish deli, thinking we were rich, making $150 a week, right, Beth? So let's taste. And I put this and made it square, and it's on our ciabatta bread. Of course, you can make this round on regular hamburger rolls, but you know we have to be different. CookingWithChampagne.com. So here we go. My mouth isn't big enough. It is, but I just don't want to show you. Everything is delicious together. And to go with this, we made our French fries, 1 creamy white potato and 1 yam or sweet potato that we cut in half, and then we just quartered them up, salt, pepper, olive oil, and some grill seasoning. And these came out nice and crunchy because we roasted them in a 450-degree oven. So good. So, if you've never had a California burger or sandwich before, try this recipe. Delicious, perfect for the summer, especially with the avocados and the beautiful ripe tomatoes and the cucumbers. Taste so well together. So download the recipes, cookingwithchampagne.com. Thank you so much for sharing time in the kitchen with me. Come back again. Don't forget to check out all the mixes inside the Champagne Lounge. All you have to do is plug it in, your computer, into your speakers, listen to the mixes while you're in the kitchen cooking. I say that deserves a champagne toast. So here's a champagne toast to you, my friend Beth, to this California burger, and to everybody out there who logs on and watches all the videos and downloads all the recipes. Champagne toast to good eating. See you on Friday.